One of my first experiences as dean was a meeting with the parents of high schoolers who were attending our Summer Journalism Institute. Look at the body language, particularly the dad on the far left. You can barely see him, but this is indicative of the anxiety in the room. These were parents who were very concerned that their kids were choosing to pursue a career in a field that they were hearing was dying. And I know all of you have had this experience. That day, I was able to reassure them, and I have reassured countless people since then, that I could not be more excited about what lies ahead for our field. And that is even more true this morning after hearing what all of you are doing. It is extraordinary what's happening now. And so these parents and a lot of other parents have absolutely nothing to be worried about. This is a short introduction to our college. Some have wondered whether transformation can occur from within a discipline, but I believe strongly, and I think you've demonstrated this morning, that it absolutely can. Transformation doesn't have to be generated by external sources, and we see that journalism is being reinvented every day by visionaries and innovators within the field. Take, for example, Mark Little. Mark was a war correspondent for RTE in 2009 when he attended a family wedding in Ireland. And as people were checking their phones, as people do even at weddings, they were learning through their informal networks that Michael Jackson had died. And Mark says that within moments, he and his mother were out on the dance floor dancing to Thriller as a tribute. And that was several hours before traditional news services reported what had happened. Mark said that was an epiphany for him. He realized that the traditional news outlets had it all wrong. And so he decided to invent Storyful, the first news service that is based on social media and eyewitness accounts. Mark joined us last month as part of our new Innovators Series. We've established this with funding from the Knight Foundation, and it has enabled us to bring in innovators to the University of Florida to talk about what they're doing and what drives them. These are people who are reshaping the media landscape. Some of these innovators got their start in traditional media, and others are reimagining the business from the ground up. Mark spent 2 days in our classroom, in our college, in the classroom, talking with students, talking with faculty. And for me, the most exciting part of this engagement was his work with our faculty and students around curriculum. He has helped us develop new curriculum, particularly in the area of ethics. The Innovators is a fresh kind of speaker series. We don't bring people in to give great speeches or tell war stories. These are people who come to co-create with faculty and students. So let me give you a sense of what Mark did that was so transformative.
For the first time in human history, you and me and anybody out there, they don't have to go through anyone else to tell their story. They don't have to go in secondhand, deliver something. They can go directly to all of us. They can talk directly to us. They can tell their story in their own words. And us as professional storytellers, our job is to find the stories worth listening to. What a great time to be alive as a storyteller.
We as journalists, we hate failing. So there's no way we want to make a mistake. And we're paranoid about getting something wrong on air, and that makes us terrible entrepreneurs, because the whole concept of being a startup person is fail quickly, learn your lesson, get better.
So what I love is when you walk through this INC here and you walk through the J School here, you are seeing people with totally different ideas, with totally different backgrounds, and probably totally different futures coming together to cooperate in real time. Faculty, they said to me, what do you want out of this? I've never been asked that by anybody who's ever asked me to speak at a university.
The ethical challenges, for example, around the verification of information. Our role is to establish trust. This is the first raw material you can find in a situation. What's the ethical challenge to us? What level of proof do we need?
I got to come down here with some ideas, some questions, with some sense of what would it look like if I could get the help of a university to test out some of the assumptions that I've made. This has been a completely interactive process, and for my peers within online media who are disrupting and innovating, the first thing I'll say to them is, guys, you gotta get down and see this place.
Later this month, we'll be joined by Melissa Bell, who co-founded Vox with Ezra Klein. In 2012, she was working at the Washington Post, but she said, the Washington Post has what they need to focus on, and I'm looking to do something different. Nick O'Malley will come in February. Nico is the author of The End of Big, which was the first to capture the power of the internet to activate networks as opposed to sending out single messages. He is a futurist at Harvard University. What I love about these visits is the way that our culture offers an environment in which we can co-create with these visionaries, build ongoing relationships with them, and leverage their networks. And this is already happening with Mark Little. Like Mizzou, we've been a teaching hospital since our cradle. Originally, we were located in the football stadium. I was a student at that time, and we were totally immersed in the doing of journalism as well as the study of it. We have had 2 major renovations of Weimer Hall since it was built in 1980. The first one brought in our TV and radio stations with some significant production facilities. The second one was 20 years later when we decided to use our infrastructure to build a new venue for news gathering, the Innovation News Center. And I want to note, in both of those renovations, we didn't add one more classroom. It was all about venues for innovation. The Innovation News Center is helping to drive the future of news reporting, storytelling, and engagement. Not only is it linked to our 6 TV and radio media properties, it's also supported by a new college curriculum that will have every news student in the college working in this space at some point. The INC is an inherently digital environment that offers a learning lab that benefits not only our students, but offers insights for those working in the digital field. And our focus extends beyond our journalism program. In a few months, we'll open an integrated communication agency that offers students an opportunity to work with clients under the leadership of professionals with deep industry experience. The agency will leverage our students' extraordinary creativity on behalf of clients throughout the country with a particular interest in connecting with and understanding millennial values. Students with a heart for social change have the opportunity to develop careers in an emerging field called public interest communications. Our college hosts the nation's only endowed chair in this field, which uses strategic communications to drive social change. Our students work with the chair to organize the world's only conference dedicated to connecting people who use communications to drive change. The conference attracts funders, practitioners, and scholars from across the country to share the best of what they know. And the next conference in February will feature 30 different speakers. Some other areas that we're developing are a new center on STEM translational communication, some big steps in research around new technologies that involve virtual storytelling, a new program in data journalism, and a stronger focus on applied research in collaboration with industry partners. We also believe we have a role in providing a venue for new ideas and strategies. For example, we recently launched Captivate, a blog series that provides perspectives from more than 30 leading news, advertising, public relations, and entertainment executives on engaging audiences in the increasingly cluttered media universe. It's invigorating to bring the innovators into this environment and watch our faculty and students co-create with them. Next year, we'll have 3 more innovators, and I'd love to hear any thoughts you have about who we should invite. What strikes me about the group that has joined us this year is that each of them was dissatisfied with what they could do in their traditional news environments. So they left to do something new. They aren't outsiders. They love news and want to make it work better. They are role models for our students who no longer think about where they want to work, but what they want to do. They are not the disruptors that Clay Shirky and Clay Christensen have written about. Change is not the sole domain of black swans who come from outside the industry and change it forever. As Robert Kaiser wrote in the Brookings Institute essay that was released a couple of weeks ago, the future of journalism is definitely uncertain. But he closed his essay with the phrase, "We are lighting out for new territory." To listen to the inspiring work that all of you are doing, that couldn't be more true. And I think that what excites me the most is we're no longer being patted on the head as a center for recruitment of industry. We are actually working hand in glove with industry now to figure out the future. And it's a good thing we have searchlights and sunglasses to lead the way. Thank you.